Taurus, what is going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan Hill from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Taurus Tarot reading. Today we are going to take a look at what's blocking you here as we move into January 2025. I'm going to get 3 cards for you from the Lantern Oracle deck here. It's really good at pointing out some things that your attention and awareness might need to be brought to about what's getting in your way or what's holding you back, what's stopping you from living the kind of life that you really want to live. After I get 3 cards from that deck, I'm going to clarify each of them with the tarot deck just to make sure we can get you some clarity about what's blocking you. And then I'm going to finish this reading off by getting you some advice from the universe about what, excuse me, you might need to be reminded of about yourself in order to make it through these blockages. So let's get 3 cards for what's blocking Taurus as we move into January 2025. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Come here. Okay, first blockage, we have Inner Life, card 43. Your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. Next we have card 18, Radical Honesty. To believe in the facade is to suffocate in the armor of alienation, self-defeat, and self-denial. And your final card is card 23, Broken Dreams. Only you can accept or reject your dreams. Okay, looks like we got some stuff going on your inner world here that needs looked at. We're going to start by taking a look at this Inner Life card. Your inner life is a garden to be cultivated. Let's see what's going on here. That usually means you have some sort of an internal block. I just got an extra card, no big deal. Let's see what we have here. Underlying this inner life energy, I have the Star. Aquarius Major Arcana energy here. This is a card of hope. It's a card of healing. It's also the card that comes right after the Tower in the sequence of the Major Arcana. So you don't make it to the Star energy without going through a Tower moment of some kind. Something important in your life collapses all around you. It's really hard to see the way moving forward after everything changes and nothing's the same anymore. This is the hope that gets you through. This is the healing. Oh, in terms of a blockage, this would be like losing hope on something, or not having hope on something, or not able to maintain your hope on something. Inner life is a garden to be cultivated here. So that's not looking promising here. I got to clarify this. I got a bunch more Major Arcanas. I got the Empress, I got the Hierophant, Death, and the 10 of Wands. So the Empress is the mother of the tarot deck. She's a very nurturing, prosperous, abundant kind of an energy. She has something to do with manifesting. She's the gateway between this physical 3D reality we live in and God or the universe or the divine or however you choose to label that. She's the gateway between the two. So whenever someone manifests something, it gets birthed into this physical reality via the Empress energy here. So this is usually some sort of a blockage in terms of your manifesting. You got something going on internally that's in your way here in terms of manifesting what you actually want and not stuff that you don't want. I have the Hierophant next, which is a card of commitment. This is your Major Arcana card, Taurus. It's about taking things to the next level. It can also have something to do with, you know, like a rigid belief system, dogma, like an organization and the way things run within that. This could be like being, excuse me, overly dogmatic, stuck in your old ways and refusing to change like what's traditional here. That could be getting in your way in terms of manifesting. I have Death next, which is the Scorpio Major Arcana card. This is an ending to something. It's something dying so it can be reborn in a different way. This usually is an ending that has some painful transition period or a painful transformation period after that. In terms of a blockage, this would be resisting the ending of something or refusing to release something that needs to fall away, like resistance to transforming, making some sort of a major change here. Definitely a major change has happened. I've had a tower. I know I've had a tower because I've got the star as the underlying energy. You don't make it here without the tower. There's some refusal to change, it looks like. Probably being stuck in some particular way of doing something, and that is not working. I've got the 10 of Wands next, which is a heavy burden that you're carrying. It's a 10, and in tarot, 10s are completion. So this is supposed to be the completion of the heavy burden. This is supposed to be the spot where you lay this burden down and move forward without it. But that's probably not what's happening here. This is you being burdened by something, and that's in the way. Whatever it is, it's like some refusal to change or refusal to accept an ending of something. And potentially, like in terms of a blockage, this could be like losing hope on something, but it doesn't necessarily feel that way. It might be like maintaining hope when you're really supposed to accept that something is completed and let it fall away and go through the transformation, but maybe trying to stick to the way it's always been. Central to your blockages is radical honesty. To believe in the facade is to suffocate in the armor of alienation, self-defeat, and self-denial. And that's really what this is feeling like right here. Like self-defeat, self-denial. To believe in the facade, you know, something that's not true. And the next card, broken dreams. This is feeling like you had something that was important to you that has come to an end and probably not releasing it here. But it's time for some radical honesty, apparently. Let's see what we got going here. Come here. You're getting extra cards every place here. Underlying radical self-honesty, or excuse me, radical honesty. Ace of Swords. This is the sword of truth. It's the sword of clarity. It's the sword you make decisions with. It's the sword you would use to cut something out of your life. And in terms of a blockage, this would be lack of clarity, unwillingness to face the truth on something. I've got radical honesty here. Believing in the facade. There's some element of truth here to something being cut away and released and transforming that you're holding on to. Yeah, I got 3 of Wands under that, which would be an expansion energy. This would be like a fear of expansion, a fear of the unknown. When I clarify this radical honesty energy, I get the 8 of Cups, Temperance, 5 of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. The 8 of Cups is an energy of emotionally detaching and then physically detaching and physically walking away. It's like leaving something behind and going down a new path into your future, looking for your 9th and your 10th cup, your personal happiness, your personal wish fulfillment, the happily ever after. This in a blockage would be like the refusal to walk away from something, like having a difficult time leaving something behind, probably still trying to like rebirth something or get something to manifest that isn't working, probably because it's not supposed to work and you're supposed to be releasing it. I have Temperance next, which is the Sagittarius Major Arcana card. This is a card of patience. It's a card about blending things together to make something new. It's about rebalancing, recalibrating something. In terms of a blockage, this would be lack of patience. It would be having a difficult time, like assimilating these two new things together, like blending opposites together. A lack of clarity on that, maybe even a lack of like facing the truth that you need to walk away from something instead of trying to figure out how to blend it back together here. Like that's probably the way it's always been done for you, and that way isn't serving you right now. I have 5 of Pentacles next, which is a Taurus energy here. This is a conflict here. This is like some sort of a physical loss. It can represent a financial loss, financial ruin. It can represent being left behind, left out in the cold, discarded. It can represent feeling like you're not good enough for some reason. This might be like trying to blend something back together with another person. Instead of focusing on your internal world, you're focused externally, trying to get someone, potentially not walk away from someone here. Resisting some sort of a transformation or an ending is what it's looking like. Then I have Queen of Wands as your final clarifier for this radical honesty. She knows exactly what she wants and she goes after it. She normally doesn't take no for an answer. In terms of a blockage, this could be not knowing what it is that you want, not standing in your own power for some reason, feeling like you're not good enough to stand in your power or to go after what it is that you want. Okay, if this is a relationship that this is talking about for you. See, I don't really know exactly what this is talking about for you, but I don't really need to. It's your message, so as long as you're able to piece together what this is talking to you about, that's all that really matters. But if this is a relationship, this isn't one that you want to try to blend back together with this person. This is like lacking of walking away, lacking of assimilating the changes, not cutting someone out, believing in a facade about that when it's providing something that's not good enough for you, that's not getting you what you want. You're being burdened by what it is that you want and probably the fact that you're not getting it. If this is not a relationship, there's something that you're trying to manifest, some dream that you have probably, and the way that you've been trying it, which is like the standard approach, hasn't been working, and you're having some sort of a resistance to doing it a different way, letting that way be over and transforming how you're doing it. I don't think you're letting go of the thing that's actually holding you back here, and it's time to like look at the reality in front of you, and not the idealized version of how you want it to be, but how it actually is working, and make some sort of a change to that. This final card, Broken Dreams. Only you can accept or reject your dreams. That's like not letting somebody else tell you that your dream isn't good enough or that you're not good enough to make your dream happen. It's almost like someone else is trying to dictate policy to you on that. And underlying that energy, 9 of Swords, fear, worry, anxiety, thinking about something a lot with a bunch of fear and worry behind your thinking, and doing that to the point that your mental energy starts to physically manifest in your body as stress. Stressing about some broken dream or whether or not it can be achieved. Maybe even someone else telling you that it can't be achieved. But it's not up to them, it's up to you. This is like worst case scenario type thinking here. Overthinking something. Yeah, and Wheel of Fortune. Doing it again and again and again. Like, there's some piece of this where you're doing the same thing and expecting it to work differently, and it's not. And you're starting to get worried, thinking that your dream isn't going to work. It's not necessarily the dream that's not going to work. It's your approach to making it happen that's not going to work. When I clarify that, I get the Fool, the Hanged Man, and the 7 of Swords. The Fool is the first card of the Major Arcana, the first card of the whole tarot deck. It's about taking a blind leap of faith on some new beginning. It's a legitimate new beginning at something where you may not know what all the steps are from beginning to end. You may not know the final end result and how it's going to work out. This is about going for it anyway. In terms of a blockage, this would be like the fear of taking that leap of faith or some aversion to just going for it here. It's sitting right beside an energy of like emotionally detaching and physically walking away from it, or failing to do that, failing to just go for that. It's got something to do with whatever it is you're trying to manifest here. This is really feeling like if it's a relationship, the relationship itself you should be letting go of. And if it's some goal that you have, some dream you're trying to accomplish, you're supposed to be going for it, not being afraid to start. I have the Fool next, which is things being stuck. No progress is happening. No forward movement is happening. It's about trying to look at things from a different perspective than you normally would. It's in the same row with the way that you've always looked at it, the way that it's always been done, like the dogmatic thinking, the traditional way of doing things. I think that is what has you stuck. There's some new thing that needs to be blended in with that old stuff to make this happen, to get unstuck. This is like not looking at things from a different perspective than you normally would, and that keeping you stuck. It's not that the dream itself is bad, it's the way that you're doing it isn't working, and you need to look at a different method here. I got the Seven of Swords next, which is, it's a thought energy here. This is sometimes a clever plan, a strategy. It's like a new way of thinking here. It could also be about deception and where are you deceiving yourself. It kind of feels like it's tying me back to this radical honesty here. This, to believe in the facade is to suffocate in the armor of alienation, self-defeat, and self-denial. This could be someone fooling you, or you fooling yourself, or not being fully honest with yourself, or not choosing to take a new approach to something, come up with a new strategy. I've got death here as in like a resistance to something coming to an end, a resistance to change and transformation. Something needing walked away from that you're not walking away from, in a new strategy here. Like you're burdened by what it is that you want, and this gap here in this final spot, there's nothing there. It's like I'm not getting what I want, and it's not because what you want isn't possible to happen. It's not like that dream is impossible. It's just the way that you're doing it, the way that you started doing it, hasn't gotten you the progress you want. And this is about coming up with a different way. So let's get you some advice on what you might need to be reminded of about yourself so that you can move forward past these blockages here in January 2025, Taurus. Okay, looks like we got them both there. What do we have? We got willingness. You are able to compromise if the end result is love. Like this feels like not compromising. Like I'm sticking with the way it's always been done, the standard approach, like the traditional way of doing it. You got to have some willingness to adapt that, to compromise the way you're doing it. Forgiveness. You are not able to activate... you are now able to activate the power of love in order to release past hurts. And your final advice card, peacefulness. You recognize that balance, kindness, and love bring calmness to your soul. I hope this was helpful for you. Leave me a comment down below and let me know how this reading resonated with you.